Welcome back to another episode of VFX and Chill. It is the Friday before Thanksgiving of 2024. That means today's Friday, November 22nd. And I am Seth Worley. Over there is Daniel Hashimoto. And down there is Michael Zlapski. We are very excited today to be coming to you and talking about how to train dragons, specifically live action dragons, when your dragon has previously been 3D animated and textured and styled for 3D animation. Hashi, first off, how are you doing?
Seth, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm great. Michael, you're good? Great. Hashi, my question is this. Have you ever trained a dragon or been in the proximity of dragons being trained professionally?
Oh, that's a good question. The answer is yes, very much so. Yes. How to Train Your Dragon, for those of you who haven't heard me do this spiel, was the very first live-action movie, not live-action, the very first big movie I got to work on. I was with it from the very beginning when the crew was literally fewer than 10 people, almost all the way through the end there, which was a lot of fun. I got to work on some cool sequences from it. I got to the director who is adapting the animated movie into the live action is one of the two directors of the original, which is really great because
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, so like he's just getting a chance to like revisit the material and do it in like a slightly different way, and yeah, it sounds like he's having a really fun time doing it. So. Yeah, you know, I love this movie. It's very special to me.
Oh, it's so good. And the score.
And you know what? Why not? Let's have a live action version.
You know, why not? That's how I am about all live action adaptations. I'm like, it doesn't hurt anything to have them. It's a fun experiment, and it's not my money being spent. So do it.
That's true.
I'm actually particularly excited for the Lilo and Stitch one. Not only having seen that little teaser of showing Stitch, but just because I love the original Lilo and Stitch. I think it's very underrated, even though at this point it's pretty beloved. And
what's kind of cool is that Chris Sanders directed Lilo and Stitch and is adapting that into live action. And Dean DeBlois, I hate saying his name because I feel like I get it wrong, is directing How to Train Your Dragon.
Fast enough to where we won't hear it.
Those two were the ones who co-directed the animated version of How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh,
so
that's
they're
crazy.
Both making their own live action versions
so cool.
of their movies.
I think Lilo and Stitch is like one animated movie that I've not really thought too hard about this, but I think it's just so prime. It's like one of the most, what's the word? Like most prime for live action adaptation. I think it's just that particular story and its setting. It's like really, really prime for a cool live action version. I'm excited. But this How to Train Your Dragon is pretty dang cool too. The original is great. The design of Toothless has always been great, and I really like this approach that I brought up Lilo and Stitch because I thought they did the same thing with Stitch there, where it feels like the design is really, really like accurate, like and faithful to the original, to the point that Toothless looks almost like they just took the same.
It looks like he's like ripped from the movie. It's like someone like filmed live action portions and like modified it into live action.
Yeah.
I mean, the Toothless model is just like, it has a sheen to it that's not in the 3D animated version. Like there's a something
got some
about
translucency to the inner eyelid.
I feel like
dragons have two sets of eyelids.
The shaders were updated and everything else feels the same.
That is what it feels like. Now, I do want to point out, yes, Nathan Prescott, the dragons are still CGI. You're right. We are saying live action.
Computer graphic animation.
I forgot we had that. That really threw me off. I forgot we had that.
It's like, what happened?
You're right. The dragons are definitely CGI, definitely, and they are. We're going to say live action. Everyone knows what we mean when we say that. The movie is intended to appear as a live action film. So yes, I call The Lion King a live action version because its intent is to imitate a live action film and live action footage. So that's what I mean when I say that. But you're right. I am, of course, it's VFX and Chill. There's no way I'm throwing VFX artists like a work under the bus or out with the bus. Justin, you're 100% right. The this is the week of Wicked. This is the Wicked. We absolutely should have covered that this week. We dropped the ball there. And but if you like Wicked and want to see us talk about Wicked VFX, pun not intended. Michael's going to drop our Super Bowl episode link our Super Bowl spot episode link in the chat where you can go and watch us talking about that original trailer. Sorry, Hash, I talked over you.
Heck yeah. I was just going to say, and if you end up going and seeing Wicked in this fun holiday week or two or whatever, I think that we are off next week, but we'll be back the week after with Jason Murphy. And I don't know where I was going with describing our shows, but yeah, you can go to our VFX and Chill suggestion box and say, how do they do this part of the movie? Because I promise you, it wasn't with live action.
I actually need to look and see if it
wasn't
to the suggestion box, because we did bring this up earlier this week. We did a surprise little episode, which, by the way, subscribe to youtube.com/VFX and Chill. We did a surprise episode 2 days ago. It felt like Thursday, but it was Wednesday. Hashi walked everybody through your Moves by Maxon and Pose Morph's facial animation tutorial workflow, and everybody should definitely go check that out.
Absolutely. I appreciate everyone who came out to see the stream. And let me see. Am I sharing my screen? I'm not sharing my screen right now. I'm going to share my screen real quick, because I have to. Let's see. So on the stream, we did all this work to create a whole bunch of blend shapes from one face and transfer them to this other. And during the stream, I didn't get it properly playing so everyone could see the animation that resulted as a result. And it turns out that everything that we had done on the stream was correct. I just needed to restart Cinema for everything to relink. And check it out. We learned how to. We literally live made all of these different blend shapes. You can see that I'm missing the lip pull left, right, and up and down, which makes a
I kind of like that it
circular
gives it this,
shape.
I like that it gives it this big boy
kind
caprice lip thing happening.
This looks like Andy in Toy Story 2, maybe.
We started to dip into the valley, yeah.
Exactly. But anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about live-action movies being adapted into, or rather, animated movies being adapted into...
Did you want me to say on your screen?
I did.
I think you did.
I did.
Keep going.
We would love your suggestions in the chat. But today we thought that we would actually go about trying to kind of, conceptualize and visualize a few movies that we know exist only in the animated sphere that maybe could be translated into the more exciting live action realm.
I recognize that.
Hell yeah.
Is there an artist who designed this buff Lightyear? Here?
Buff Lightyear. That would be, I guess, Microsoft. I don't know. This is I don't know if it's specifically Master Chief, but this is
that was Master Chief.
With a handful of
just a Neil Armstrong astronaut helmet thrown onto it.
Yes, and in fact, this is actually a cosmonaut.
Oh, sorry.
Including it still has the.
Can I just say, in the case specifically of Toy Story, it's funny that we've got the toy version of Toy Story, and then we have the Lightyear, which is like the more realistic but still 3D animated cartoon version of it. But Buzz looks so different in both of them, and just imagining a live action Buzz is quite fun. Hey, David, to answer your question, we're streaming in like 6 different places, 5, 4, something like that, several different places. We're on the Maxon Training Team channel, the Maxon channel. VFX and Chill, Red Giant, bunch of different channels. But the main chat is happening over at youtube.com/@VFX and Chill. So if you want to hop on over there, your surname will come through when I pop your comments up as well, if you're on that channel versus the other ones.
And we love chat participation during the show. So if you watch on that primary channel, Seth and I will be more able to see those comments come through. Mike will try to catch anything from all of the different channels we're streaming to. But if you have questions about the original How to Train Your Dragon and what that production was like. I'm happy to answer them. And if you have any questions or suggestions about what animated movies you like, that would be an interesting challenge to adapt to a live action version.
Yes, that is what I was going to.
That is what we're physically doing today.
That is what I would love. I would love for you to, you there at home, to go into the chat. Go on youtube.com/VFX and Chill, and please comment an animated character, animated film, whatever that you would like to see us today attempt to create a, quote unquote live action look for. Now, we're obviously not adapting.
Justin has films. Justin is mentioning the Minecraft trailer and is wondering about our thoughts on the new trailer and how much better it is than the other one, which is something that's I mean, I guess you could consider Minecraft animated in as much as it is animated, but just it's a video game. Not
Get it out of here. No, I mean I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen the new trailer.
I think that we already kind of demonstrated that if we were to do a similar thing with Minecraft, to make it more live action, this is where we would have gone with it.
Absolutely. Now, don't speak any more about it, or we'll spend the whole show talking about it. We cannot let the viewers dictate everything we do on the show. We have to teach them things. So, Hashi, do you want to walk through your process for the Woody that's in that reflection there? The
I would love to. So, should we pull up the clip? That I made?
We should. I forgot that you shared that clip.
You might as well.
Give me 1 second. Just.
I didn't know if I was going to work up to it. I happen to have something kind of done before the show, which is fun.
I'm so sorry if you had proclaimed a plan and I didn't.
I had not at all.
I have to find.
Oh, Iron Giant was on my list too.
Yeah. See, some of these I kind of feel like
the X-Winer.
Some of them I feel like if Sketchfab's still there, we should just go on Sketchfab. We could just go on Sketchfab and find a really great model already, and then just retexture it in Redshift, right?
Which is what I did here. That's a full description of this process.
Great. Hang on a second. I just realized that my clip screen is working weird, so give me just a second. So sorry, guys.
While Seth is figuring that out, we have a number of suggestions in the chat for live action-y things, including Jimmy Neutron from Brian the White, Watership Down from Frigby Chillweather, saying the original scared the heck out of him as a child.
Oh man, Watership Down.
Bartlett Idea Company is a company full of good ideas, including Emperor's New Groove live action. One of that is my favorite animated film, so thank you for calling that out. Some Nice suggests Adventures of the Gummy Bears. Designer, whatever.
Is it Designer?
However you pronounce that.
That would be great.
Suggests live action Iron Giant, which is
Iron Giant is on my list too. Which I'll admit, several times in the past I've tried to do a live action Iron Giant thing for Action Movie Kids. I had this whole plan. And I was close to, but to his credit, I could not convince my friend who was working on the when the Iron Giant had kind of a special edition come out. He had access to the full Iron Giant model.
Oh,
and I was like, you couldn't just accidentally, let that fall onto a USB stick and let me have it.
That's a big ask, is what that is.
It was a big ask. I asked so blatantly at the time. He's like, can you send me a link? And he was like, of course not. What are you talking about?
Jamiro Bruno says, haha, awesome, big hugs from Argentina. Having fun. Dykes.
That was my wave to Argentina. Wave.
Diner. I can't pronounce that, buddy.
The XY is pronounced the same as a xylophone. Okay, how do I do that then? How was the D pronounced?
And TJ Knuckles says, have y'all covered when, where, and how we can see Seth's movie? I'm dying over here.
Not yet. We just gotta wait. I promise it'll be worth it. I promise.
It's gonna be worth it.
Thank you for asking, though. You're very kind to ask.
100% on Rotten Tomatoes says it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
Up on Wallace and Gromit live action, which is amusing because it was photographed.
That kind of counts.
It's not computer animated. Like it's already photographed with a real film camera, but it's stop motion. Justin is suggesting live action Finding Nemo. Michael Palak wants
trying to find fish. I love the idea of trying to film them.
Heavy metal live action. And then Frigby wants the Bee Movie or Bug's Life or Ants. Pretty much any sort of bug.
Something weird happened.
Speaking of the Bee Movie,
Bee Movie 2, and I don't know how it happened.
Do you know how to get back to it?
Driving me. So I'm trying. Can I get it back? I didn't know. Wait. I think I have it back. Yeah. In the middle of getting ready for the show today, this thing opened up. It's the B.GLB in the native 3D viewer program in Windows. I don't know.
Okay.
It must be like installed.
And you never downloaded it. And you didn't.
I didn't
click
download
anything
it.
To open
I think, like, look at this. I've got this 3D library.
It's not in the library.
I see a bee. I see a bee.
Flying bee.
Okay. The thing, it just
so somehow,
if bees come out of Hashi's computer during the show, now you know why.
Oh gosh, can you imagine if you heard this? Like, I'm like, my hard drive's making a lot of noise, and then you discover that it was because there were bees.
There were bees. I don't know why.
There were bees.
There will be bees.
Just like that's the note that you see scrawled when someone has disappeared from your life.
That's great. It's a great cryptic last message. Okay. So you're gonna walk through your. Well, I have the clip here. Why don't we watch the clip?
Oh, here we go.
You're a child's plaything.
You're a sad, strange little man.
I think is playing, but I can't.
You're a child's plaything.
I can't hear it either.
You're a sad, strange
can.
little man.
You're a child's plaything.
You're a sad, strange little man.
You're a child's plaything.
You're a sad, strange little man.
Okay.
You're a child's plaything.
All right, they've heard it enough.
Hell yeah.
How
right,
does
so
this
you've seen
work?
it a bunch now. So what we have there is a crazy combination of all the things that I know how to do, which are, let me see if I can open this up here.
While you're trying to open that up, Dances for Peace suggests Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, which is on theme for today's date. And Michael Palak suggests Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but the animated and live action characters are reversed.
They're switched. Oh,
like
jeez.
that. You know what? Actually, in honor of today, I am going to do that. I'm going to put the Roger Rabbit soundtrack
Amazing.
up here. I can't play it during the show because it's copyright, but I'm just going to put the art up, right? Okay. Anyway, it was Twin Peaks, which doesn't really...
Excited to see what's happening in the background there.
Sorry, you can't hear me, can you? All right, here we go.
Okay, so this process was really weird. It involved, let me see if I can find my original video here. Probably this one. So I captured myself saying the line, and then
You look so miserable.
And then ran the NVIDIA build of Deepface Live on it and exported Tom Hanks frames. And then bit by bit recreated a bit of this costume. This is an actual vintage whatchamacallit badge of the era. Special officer. And then here we go. We get that minimal movement on the body. It's just the head mostly animating. And then for the buzz shot, I got to create one of my favorite ridiculous things that I've ever made, which is, I forgot I was doing this at one point. They're in there slightly in the clips, these sort of Toy Story-ish clouds. But I needed an HDRI to like reflect in Buzz's helmet, and so I have this really lousy stitched together thing. Let me see if I can find the copy with Tom Hanks in it.
While you're looking, Leduc mentioned randomly, Leduc's on some kind of thing in the chat. I don't understand. It's the usual standard Leduc. Though, you did point out, Justin, that you were on a WB tour, the WB tour, in which they talked about how Clooney loved the Smokehouse restaurant, which is next to WB, so much that he named his production company after it, which I'm reading. I knew that information actually because I'm in the industry, and we in the know, we know. But what if I named my production company like McDonald's Productions? Do you think I could do that? If you just can you just name it after any restaurant you love?
It's a good idea. I'll just go for it.
Seth, just to catch you up, Justin Leduc's thing is he missed last week's episode, but wondering if we talked about blank. It's just a running gag, like wondering what our thoughts were on the big, well, quote unquote, big boxing match between the 60-year-old man and the YouTuber, and asking about, what did we talk about the imminent collapse of the middle class? Did we publicly condemn Mr. Brownlee's speeding while driving through a school zone?
Do we publicly condemn Mars? Is that one of them? Yes.
Did we just share our thoughts or feelings on Charlie XCXC's great performance on SNL?
Missed it, but loved the Lonely Island video.
Yeah, so lots of wondering what we talked about. It's just his running humor for those of you who are in the VFX and Chill chat.
For those of you who don't know what Justin Leduc's doing, it's a little something he calls humor. That was the first time it has ever automatically pulled that drop. I could not get this thing to understand his name, and so I've had to manually do it, and that's the first time it ever did it on purpose. The time that I roasted him, it was like, oh, he's talking about Leduc.
Amazing.
Okay.
That was the whole process for this. Threw in a dome light with that really crappy HDRI, but it works because all I needed to do was reflect something kind of back.
He is so sassy.
He really is sassy. So this was created by
some sassy
converting this little bit of a cowboy collared shirt recolored to slight woody colors, and then using generative fill to put in the rest of a body standing there. And it works so great.
In response to Justin.
No.
Sorry.
And then, Master Chief, I modified. We did some textures. I removed a couple of weird facets to try to make this a little bit more Buzz Lightyear shaped and proportioned. Added this weird red button, which is actually part of the cosmonaut helmet.
Oh, weird.
And then,
what if that button is like remove suit, and it's that big on the front, where you can just like,
it is. It was a mistake.
Oh no, and the suit just comes apart.
Ridiculous.
Russians.
Everyone knows it's the deploy wings button, which still
deploy wings. Oh, wings.
Wings.
So like chicken wings.
Wings.
They come out of the stomach. Deploy wings.
All right. So that's how I did this shot. It was a lot of fun, and I also grabbed some stills from The Quick and the Dead as background plates. Because Quick and the Dead has some of the best stylized ridiculousness.
It's great, but Quick and the Dead took like 360 HDRIs like as part of the film.
Naturally, and they distributed them for free to everyone. No, but that's what Tom's background is here. And though the Buzz's background is that HDRI
with the clouds,
just blurred as much as I can so you can't see how bad the lighting on it is. And also there's a second sun behind Buzz, which doesn't really work, but it was the part of the town that looked the best behind him.
100%
it's one of those two sun towns.
It's a Michael Bay universe. You put the sun wherever you need it and right into lens.
It's always over your shoulder in the Michael Bay verse.
That sounds so sweet,
and then
actually.
Like standard super comp stuff, which is all like
did somebody say me?
Added some nice I don't know how well the detail is coming through on the stream.
I'm seeing the green. Oh, yeah.
Added some optical glow from that glows all the way out past there. Some diffusion haze right here. It's subtle because I dialed up the shadow amount, which is
so
kind of
much
the amount
about
that is
this comp
protected from it. And then some light wrap, which is a little bit less subtle, but it made it so you get a nice. I look at that handover from the foreground to background right there. It's kind of cool. It's one of those things where, like, up close, like I'm so in love with how every little part of this looks, including the stupid cartoon cloud shape. I wanted a little bit of an Andy's Room tribute, but then once they get lens, like I tried making them live action-y. Where did I save it?
The clouds? Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The clouds.
You kind of want them to be the live action-y versions, right?
But then, let's see. Let me turn up one of these all the way. Yeah, like I made them more photographic, but as close to the shape as possible. But then when you dial them down, so you just see the silhouette, they just basically
become 2D again. Yeah, 2D. You're
right. So, didn't work. Not everything works. But that's enough time on this. We're at 30 minutes in. Should we take a break and maybe get ourselves reorganized over here?
That's a great idea. We'll be right back after this.
Oh, that feels good. My dogs are barking today. Oh. That feels better.
Welcome back to VFX and Chill. We're turning previously animated things into live action things. And by live action, we mean live action styled things. I am currently I'm going to be doing you all have suggested some fun things for us to turn into live action versions. Hashi, do you have one?
I'm curious about Iron Giant, and I also forgot that I had started working on this adaptation over here, which is taking a realistic quote. It's doing a lot of a quote realistic deer model, and tried going into the texturing and adding more Bambi like coloring to it. I was trying to figure out how to do the head, because Bambi's head is very big, but a real deer's head is very small. And I found that this size proportion kind of worked pretty well, because in a wide shot, it could look like a deer running around or sliding on ice. But if you ever wanted to do a cute shot from the front, all you have to do is let the camera work do the
I would say the legs,
big head thing.
The thickness of the legs from the front looks good. From the side, they look too fat, and it becomes kind of a cow like look. And that sounded so rude, but I actually mean it literally.
It is surprising how much a deer looks like a cow.
Yeah, when it sucks.
Because in my mind they were more on that they're more toward horse, but really if you look at them, they're more toward cow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're spindlier. I feel like that is a pretty hefty fawn. I want
a pretty hefty fawn.
Spindlier, ganglier.
All right, let's all deer types are cool. What I would do to do that is I'd actually probably grab the inflate brush.
All deer are beautiful.
And hold down is it the shift key? Look at that. You hold down the shift key on the inflate tool. Oh, I'll put on symmetry. And I hold down shift with inflate. Look at that. Spindle these legs right up and maintain the fact that this is already a rigged deer. Look at this. I still love this silly technique where if you grab the multiple joints at a time, like the spine through the head like this, and then you click on your rotation tool and you make sure that it's on per object transform, that you can do this. So I grabbed one of the spines. You don't need that.
Nice.
Look how cute.
That is perfect. So, I mean, if I were animating this and I just needed to have like kind of a looking around thing like that, I would 100% use Cappuccino for this and just have it play live in the viewport and do that. So I
I
didn't
would
have
drink
to
some
like.
cappuccino as well and then animate. Anyway, so yeah, at one point I thought that I might do some amplification stuff on here, but I don't know. I think I like the idea of the Iron Giant better. But I'm going to see if I can find an asset in the meantime.
Do it.
Let's go to Sketchfab Importer, which I think still works. I think Sketchfab is still technically alive.
Is it? Do we have confirmation?
It worked for me bringing in what I've got here. Okay, here's a neat build.
That's the Iron Giant.
I think this one is more character accurate. That looks pretty good too.
The third one is very dramatic pose. Look at that thing.
Hell yeah. Amazing. So I'm going to decide on one of these. I'll have to see if any of them have
a rig already.
Better, stuff going for them. You know what? I wonder if I still have them because what would I have called it? Hashi looks through files.
We need to get you one of those extensions for Windows that indexes and searches your hard drive really fast. You can just type in something and have it pop up really quick instead of waiting for Windows to search for forever.
Ooh, let's see. Iron Giant, Elements, 3D stuff. Let me see what these look like. What?
Whoa.
Chillin'.
Hey, look what I already have on my hard drive. Okay, the thing that I remember about this was that this was before I knew what topology was at all. So the problem I have here is this version of the model that I was playing with, I got all these weird, I don't know if they are
see if
caused by the normal map, if they're caused by low polys getting stretched weird. A whole lot of things could create this.
Select that part and go to the normal tag and see if changing it to like angle weighted on the normal tag works. So select the piece that's giving you trouble.
I also didn't know how to connect objects. Look at this. These are all objects with a skin and weight tag on them. Oh gosh, I'm getting rid of these immediately. Never mind, we're doing a new Iron Giant. It's not worth it.
New Iron Giant.
All right, what are you up to over there, Seth?
I'm not ready to show anything just yet.
No problem. In which case, I'm just going to connect to Sketchfab again, and I'll grab an Iron Giant that I like the most. This one really just feels like the character, so.
Who made it?
By Eternal Realm.
Ooh,
Thank you, Eternal Realm.
That's the best place to grab a.
What size is it? Throw a human in there, like a procedural person, and see what size it is. So it's Iron miniature, not an Iron Giant.
An Iron Mini. Let me see if it's okay. Not rigged or anything like that, which is fine. But I can at least. Whoops. Don't need to do anything special to scale it up.
How big is the Iron Giant in relation to humans?
In relation to humans,
human
sits comfortably in his hand, so probably this big. Would be my guess, because the hand is like a little couch if you're a grown-up sized, and a full cradle if you're a kid. But because I'm going to throw this to... Yeah, I don't really need to worry about the scale yet until I'm doing anything with physics, which I don't think I will be.
Okay.
Well, yet. I'll wait until I have it.
Yeah, but then you're going to want it at proper scale.
Well, I have no idea if Mixamo will even give it back to me in a proper scale. Okay, there's that. Let's get rid of the ground plane. It's a cute pose. but I need to undo the pose. Let's see. So to undo this pose, it looks like it all came in as one object. If you're ever working in a situation like this, there are a couple of things you can do. One thing you can do is you can select some facets.
One thing you do is turn off your computer.
Section. Let's turn it off, throw it out, start over, find something else to do. So I can tell that I want to reposition him into more of an A pose. So what I could do is I can grab these polygons and I can just kind of hold down Shift and try to paint a few polygons on all of these little pieces that I think belong there. Whoops. Oh no, I didn't mean to grab. Whoa. And then once I've sort of like painted selection onto these, I can press the shortcut UW, which selects all of the connected assets.
Oh, Hashi might need to optimize this.
He's a very
the whole thing might need to be optimized first so they connect.
Ooh, interesting. So will running optimize, will that mess up any overlaps? Like
Depending
I know
on what your settings
connect
are.
would.
Yeah, you need to UO, but you might want to check the settings on your optimize command before you do it.
No, so I was really hoping that these would be really clear.
Hopefully, running optimize command will still give you the thing you need.
Okay, we'll try that on the other hand. I'm going to do that. First, I'm going to try this dumb manual method. UW. Oh man, these are really just not connected to each other? Nuts. Now I'm not doing any teaching that I thought I was going to. Fine. Okay, if I went to I'll deselect everything. Let's go to the model and say mesh, add, subtract. Oh, remove,
Actually, not where
remove,
it is.
Optimize.
And if you hit the little...
the commander.
If you hit the little gear icon, you can adjust some of the settings the optimize command does. But let's just see if it's done for us. Select one of the arm polys and UO, and we'll see if we got it. Or UW, I mean.
Okay, so let's open up that tool. So we'll go to mesh, remove, optimize, but I'll open up the little thing. So we're going to optimize polygons and use points, blah, blah, blah. Say, okay. And now let's try grabbing some faces on this. Grab those and say UW. Yay! Michael, you're a genius.
Michael, you're a genius.
That's why I'm here.
Love that I fought Michael saying, who said this immediately. It's like, just optimize it. It's like, yeah, but I've been able to do it without having to do the thing that you said before.
Renix says, what's up? Can you comment on Black Friday deals? Yeah, some of them are great. There you go. Done. Are you asking if Maxon's going to have any? And to that I say, nothing has been announced at this time. But if anything is ever going to be announced, you can be sure it will be quite nice and loud on our social media channels. So follow Maxon Red Giant or whatever your favorite Maxon tool is on social media. And if there is a Black Friday deal or a Cyber Monday deal from Maxon, you'll 100% hear about it.
Okay, I think I've selected all of the hand properly here. Let's check. Let's test. Do that. Yeah, we got it.
It worked.
Nice.
Now, there are two things we could do. We could, and I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to split that off of there, and so I can just work with it totally separately. Oh, I thought the new. Oh, I'm in 2023 to have.
Yes, the new one automatically deletes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So never mind. Let's just do this, and I'll grab the anchor point and move it up here. Then I can go to rotate and just rotate, undo the axis tool, and say rotate that way. Oh, I shouldn't rotate it that direction, apparently. Okay. Now we've got that in a slightly better pose for now. Do the same thing over here. So yeah, quick recap. I'm just trying to select some of the faces on all of these fingers and bolts and things like that.
Some of the faces on all of the pieces.
that. Okay, when I think I've done so, then I can press UW to fill in the selections, and I can sort of see there are a couple of things that I've missed. Okay, that looks closer. Do you think that's everything? Do I think I have these pieces? Nope, I'm missing that. Okay. Sorry, everyone. This is not a very exciting process to watch, but it is a very useful tip for if you import something like a car and everything.
Well, I tell you what, I might be able to show something. Ooh. So here I've got this, Jimmy Neutron, as we remember him, right? He's got the classic giant forehead, the giant hair. We we love it. We love him. We love him. I am in the process, real quick, I'm trying to open this back up. I found a model on Sketchfab by Patrick Ambrose 2840. A great starting point. There's Jimmy Neutron in his classic cross-eyed T pose. And it downloaded as an OBJ. I'm opening it back up. So this is what he looks like right here. So he needs some work, right? Now, I don't know why his colors come in like that. I don't know if that's light or what that is going on, but he looks like he's more
orange than usual.
He's running a low-grade fever. So why don't I real quick just show you kind of the result that I got, and then I'll walk you through. So, well, actually, look, Hashi, you gave me this really great. Let me find it. I am not super comfortable in Redshift yet. I don't know a whole lot about how to do it correctly.
About how to Redshift.
How to Redshift.
If you want to learn how to Redshift, Ellie Wade is your girl. There's an amazing... There are short videos that teach you just specific things in Redshift, and there are some good overview videos. And Ellie is an awesome teacher. And like many of you out there, like Ellie applied to Maxon not having used 3D software before, and now teaches it at an insane level.
Absolutely nuts.
Insane.
While playing football and running.
Or actually incredibly disciplined. It is really.
It's disciplined is what it is. So like, I think these are all Redshift, right? So let me download like this glossy, or this old gloss one. Click download, and I'm going to bring it into here. And I believe that it's right here. So if I double click on this, it comes up with the node editor. This is the part that scares me, right? And probably scares anybody who doesn't know anything.
Node editor.
Like me. And so what the hell does this all mean? Hashi, am I allowed to share the image that you shared with me earlier?
Yeah. It was literally in a search that I did for how to connect different types of.
So I'm sorry we can't credit whoever made this.
Let me see. I can probably find out who that was by.
I have this image. Find out who it's by so we can tell people where to look for. But this is a really good guide for me. This doesn't immediately make sense to me, but it does point me in the right direction of sense. So I am not going to even try to explain how this works, but all I'm going to say is I was able to very quickly, and again, I'm not very good at Redshift, very quickly work up some textures that I actually think make this model like look really cool in live action. Let me show you the final render that I made very quickly. And there it is.
I love the skin.
The forehead is about the right size.
I agree. The forehead is the right size. And the hair used to be the right size, but isn't what it used to be. Redshift.
This is like James Neutron.
Rick Neutron. This is like his brother.
Jimmy is my father's name.
Anyway, Hashi, you got any ears working at all?
I'm sidetracked trying to find that chart.
I'll tell you what, why don't we take a quick break? We'll be right back after this.
Of it.
Welcome back to VFX and Chill, where everything's working perfectly.
Woohoo!
Did you find that thing, Hash?
I found it and then I lost. It's the user named 531, and let me see. Here we go. I think my screen is okay to share. Great. So yes, user 531 on in the Cinema 4D subreddit posted this handy chart, which is basically how to connect PBR textures correctly to a redshift material. Like mainly your redshift material will look like this one little box over here, and it has inputs for, color, rough. Let's see, I could actually probably just show this in the actual program, maybe easier. Let's see, I have, right now what I have open is my old version of Cinema that worked with the, whatchamacallit, the Sketchfab plugin. I'm gonna dive over to my, the newer version of Cinema, and I'll try to open up that Iron Giant that I just saved. So what I've got here very likely is if I go to the materials, I probably have a standard shader that just seems to have a reflectance base color in it. So if I click on that little folder sign, it'll actually, if I click on the image itself, I can go locate image, and I can see that's right here on my drive. But if I wanted to create a new texture for the Iron Giant here, here's what I could do. I'm going to make sure that in my render settings, this came in from the old version, so it says standard, but I go to my render settings and say redshift, and then I can close that. That means that it's now going to be looking for redshift textures, and by default will create a new redshift material instead of a standard one. And just like Seth was saying, when I double click on it, it opens up the node editor. And so this node editor can seem intimidating, but really it is that there's an output for what happens on screen and in your render, but the material, most of its information lives over here, and it's just sending all of its info over here to the output and what gets rendered. The reason why there are two things like this is because you may want to factor in things like the environment and it lights and add contours and other things that are sort of that happen to it, but not necessarily go into the material itself. So I'd opened up my texture here, and it's just this little piece of color. And I think that in this case, what I would do is I would drag it right into Redshift like that. And then I can link the output color from it, if I wanted to, directly to the color on the Redshift material like this. And let's go ahead and replace it, and you can sort of see the difference. Here is, now here's my Redshift material applied. You'll see it's a lot shinier, and there's some other stuff going on that look a little bit different than how matte looked before. To control the matte in the simplest way is you can just go right to that standard material again, and you'll see that right here, by default, there are some sliders that you can deal with right here, like the reflections weight. If I turn the weight of the reflection down, it shows how much something is reflecting in the texture. So if I turn that down to 0, you'll see that all of the reflection goes away. I actually want it at 1 because I want light to be reflecting in this thing, but I can look at the next value, which is the roughness, and I can dial that up if I just want something standard, like I know I want it to be not so glossy, a little bit more like this.
Okay, because in the real world, everything is reflective. It's just how rough is that reflection? Like, is it going to be a crisp, shiny, or is it going to be so diffused you don't even notice that it's reflecting?
Yeah, it all depends on how rough you like it.
Where's the essential Star Wars when you need it? But
right here.
But I mean, all we ever see in the world is reflected light. Like every single bit of light you're seeing is, for the most part, is reflected unless it's in it from something emitting. But like everything on the desk that I'm looking at, it's all reflected. It's just some of it's shinier than others.
Precisely. So this is the simplest. If you just had the color of the object that you want to be ported through Redshift, this is all you need to do is literally drag the image right to here. The other way you can import an image or access many other Redshift functions is while you're in the node editor, press C, and that'll bring up this little search right here. And I could say something like texture, and you'll see that one of the objects that I could add is a texture. And then from there, I can click on it and I can load in, give it a path and stuff. But I like to just drag it from the browser and link things up. The other thing that you'll note is that this is basically just the viewport render view right now. But if you want to see it the way Redshift likes to render it, you can go to Redshift and then start IPR render right there. Oh, it's not good. Let's see. It doesn't want me to do this when I have multiple instances of Cinema 4D open. So maybe I'll skip that for a second. Seth, I can either close a handful of programs and then I'll show I'll show the next first stage in Redshift of what you would do, or if you have something, feel free to...
No, I was actually teeing you up to show us the right way to do this.
Excellent. Then let me just close down this other copy of Cinema. I'm going to close my current version of Cinema and just start fresh. Just do that.
Unlike your desktop.
Thank you. It's very organized.
I like that the 3 on the far right are like definitely important.
Oh, definitely. My taxes, my review form, and the shortcut to Fortnite that's been uninstalled. So a real portrait of.
They're very important.
Portrait of a man.
What's up, Murph? We're gonna see you in 2 weeks on the show, I believe. Coming back after Thanksgiving, I believe we're going to have Mr. Murphy on the show to talk about God knows what. It's going to be great.
Whoops. Why did I open my Buzz Lightyear shot? I don't need that anymore.
Michael Pollack has changed his profile picture to that of the
oh, yes.
great Dave Laurent.
Amazing.
I almost said late great, but I as far as I know, he's still alive. But since my Facebook is gone, I no longer have a connection to him because I
just killed the man.
I'm saying we were friends on Facebook, so I'm no longer able to see his updates. So I don't know if he's around. Not that once my Facebook got deleted, he got deleted too. That's not. It's just different things.
Excellent. So the very first thing that I did when I learned about applying, here's how you create a texture. I've hooked up the color to this thing, flowchart, and then I went to Redshift and said start IPR so I can see it in like a better view. This is what I saw. And I was like,
my God.
What is this?
If I saw this in the night, I would be... This is like Five Nights at Iron Giants.
It really is. FNAIG.
Which actually sounds delightful.
So the problem with this, and this is why I was like, I don't get Redshift. This is silly. But Redshift really wants to be rendering things realistically. And right now, there's no environment. There's a nothing void back here. So luckily, you can easily correct that by just going up to the asset browser right here. And you'll see that once you click into it, there's this whole category called HDRIs. I can double click into there, and then I can take any of these. Let's find a fun one. Here's like an evening sunset. I think this is a cool one. And I can just drag it like this and let go into the comp. And what that'll automatically do is it will create a dome light right here with that sunset image as its texture.
Still terrifying.
And now
but
suddenly
beautiful.
You can see that now Redshift actually has some additional lighting and information to work with. And even though we all remember this is a very simplified texture, there's not really much going on in it. You get a really cool result. What's cool about this is if you go to the dome light itself, you can adjust its intensity and exposure on the object. So if I turn up the intensity, the background will look like it gets brighter. And I could also turn up the exposure of it and kind of adjust between these. I don't know if I can scientifically explain what's happening between these two.
You have to. You have to right now.
Fine. Intensity is how intense it is, and exposure is how exposed it is.
Wow.
So check that out. And now from here, we can add additional cool lights and things like that to make Iron Giant look even cooler. So I could add in, say, maybe an area light, which will appear right in the middle of Iron Giant right now. But I can rotate it.
Can you also
to be
when
more
you get a
this
chance,
direction?
When you get a chance, could you? I don't know how to say this without giving away the joke. I'm going to put a request for you in our private chat.
Sharpen his teeth.
Speaking of, Justin LeJook is planning a trip to the dentist's office and is wondering if they should cancel the dentist appointment so they can stay here and watch the show. Justin, I feel like dental hygiene is very important, and you should not skip out on your cleaning.
Yes, we don't officially recommend skipping medical or dental treatments. That's pretty fun. All right. I now need to go refer to our. Fair enough.
One thing I think is really interesting is that Red. Yeah, I know. One thing I think is interesting is that Redshift manages, for the most part, to translate the standard materials that are on his eyes somewhat correctly, which is nice.
Now, one thing that one of the next things that I could do is over here in the asset browser, because this model was like kind of a toon shading kind of coloring on him. I could actually go to materials here and say, let's go to our metals that come included, and let's see if maybe some like galvanized metal or something like that on the Iron Giant as a whole would look better. I just dragged it on over, and it's loading all of the little bits and textures into there. So a galvanized metal, let's see up close, would look like. I need a very generic like metal scratches situation. Let's see if we have something like that.
I mean, keeping in mind that the Iron Giant isn't all the one kind of metal, you would want to split the model up or make polygon selections for different materials on different parts. But for this general overview, we can throw on whatever we want.
Very true.
And
here's
wow.
Now we're getting into the Five Nights at Giants scenario.
Five Iron Giants at
Five Iron
Fred Nights.
And
Five Iron Frenzy.
Five Iron Frenzy at Iron Giant Night.
I don't mean to be doing this to you,
That was just
Iron
for you
Giant.
and me, Mike.
Okay, let's see what the aluminum texture looks like.
Speaking of Fire and Frenzy, I had a general meeting this week with a producer, and we were talking about. They were a delightful person. I'm not going to out them on here because they didn't want to be talked about on a live stream. But they were asking me about living in Nashville, what my parents did, and I mentioned, well, my parents worked in Christian music growing up, and we ended up talking about that for a great deal of the meeting, which there's tons of content to talk about there. But I remembered that I had this back here. I figure why not just show our audience this too? Stand by.
Are you grabbing your Dove Awards?
No, but I can.
Amazing. So what I'm doing is
I'm grabbing my mom.
Oh,
it's your mom.
There's mom.
That is incredible.
I just yelled, I'm grabbing my mom loud enough for the house to hear, everyone upstairs. But this is my mother. This is her album, Ever Faithful. This is her favorite cover, too, because it's entirely
That's
her
phenomenal.
face. Anyway.
Goodness.
I'll put this up on the record record display now in front of Roger Rabbit. All right, back to teaching.
So teaching, what I'm doing right now is, since this Iron Giant came in without a whole lot of texture, I'm trying to see if one of the nicely built metals works better just by default on him. And then what I'm going to do is I want to dive in there and take the definitely not built for
you need, so he doesn't have good UVs on him for this kind of thing?
Yeah, we've got
no
some
good UBs. We need better UBs. Ooves.
If you don't have UV set up in a way that's going to be working out for you, one thing I like to do for a generic metal material like this is using Maxon noises in a redshift shader to drive the roughness and other things like that. So you get nice detail, but without having to have good UVs.
It's looking better
now.
That's
a fun idea. In fact, why don't we do that? Let's just dive back to
fix those
the
Uves.
redshift material we were creating right here. And you'll find that if you've played around and created textures using the attributes menu and or the material manager in old cinema, this is actually a lot more fun. It's just new. So in here, like I mentioned, you can just tap the C key. Why not do the thing that I'm asking you to do? I'm going to type Maxon noise.
Make some noise. Oops. It does sound so close to make some noise.
Why am I? Oh, there we go. Sorry. I hadn't clicked into the window, I guess. So if I type noise, there's legacy noise and there's Maxon noise. Maxon noise I can throw right here. And like Michael was mentioning, I could drag this and connect it to the roughness, for example. And now you'll see that there's this like noise pattern that's going through all of it, just straight right out of the gun into the
that's cool.
Reflective
scale
surface.
I would scale it more just to give him scale because right now he looks like a toy.
Naturally. So there are a couple things that we can do. Right now, the Maxon noise is feeding straight into this.
You don't want.
And there are some ways that we can go into the Maxon noise itself.
Hashi, did you hear Michael say you don't want that? I don't know if we
he knows
understands
he's going on. I was just agreeing with him. He was saying that and I was like, you don't want that because I know he's about to show different ways of adjusting these colors because whatever you feed into these channels, white is basically number 1, black is a number 0. So this Maxon noise right now is going from full roughness to full no roughness and everything in between. And you're not going to ever want that. Very few materials in life are fully one or fully the other. You're probably going to want to tweak these colors somewhat to be somewhere in the gray areas, depending on how rough or smooth this material is supposed to be. And Hashi is about to show you a couple of different ways to do that.
As long as you both know what you're doing, that's great. That's classic VFX and Chill.
You're welcome to correct me because I'm just showing you the few things that I have learned. So one thing that I've learned is if you have a noise input like this, there are several little things that I'm going to pull into this. One is called a color correct, which is kind of cool. One is called is it mixer or is it blender?
It's not Blender.
Let's see.
Is there really something called Maxon Blender? That doesn't sound right.
No, it's Material Blender. But that's not what. That's not what.
Is it Material Blender?
For. Yeah, but it's not what you want.
I want a.
It's in the color section. You can just search the sections. But
color.
The thing. Yeah. The thing I usually almost always use in this case
color layer. Yeah, color layer. What a color layer does, which is really nice, is you could take the Maxon noise and you can attach it to, say, a layer 1 or a layer 2 in this color layer thing. I'm going to delete that by disconnecting it. And now I can have the Maxon noise be a generic noise, and it feeds into this color layer where I can enable up to 7 different inputs as I add them to mix different types of noise together and choose the blend mode and choose their
basically
opacity way, which is cool. So I can connect this to the roughness and it'll look the same as it did before. But maybe in here, let's add that color correct node in between. So I'm going to expand this, put this over here, and then connect this to that and that to that. So now, right now, it's all the same all the way through. And at any point, what's really cool is if you want to see how Maxon noise is appearing on your model, you can press this little S button, which will solo it.
Ah.
And this is very, very helpful when you're just trying to figure out how the scale and stuff like that.
So, I'd definitely scale it down.
So right here we can go.
I would also change the noise type to something more like Zada or Nucky or One of those other fun ones.
Any of the Mario characters.
Luca's very organic. Let me see.
Yeah, I like Luca a
lot. Luca is great for just any like weird living or growing kind of thing. Let me see. Octaves. Wait, I want fewer, right?
Now, if you want to change the scale, you do that under the input section, which is not twirled down below. Down, move mouse down, mouse down.
Oops, thank
right there.
Overall scale. So now I can do this. One thing that I'm going to try is, let me see if I did stretch.
Yeah, you don't want that.
If I stretch it out, sometimes you'll see that your model favors something. So if I had one copy of noise that looks like this, that's kind of stretched tall, you'll see that it makes very vertical lines here. I'm actually going to hold down Control and create a copy of that here and solo this. I'll solo this. Yeah, there we go. And then I'm going to go to its overall scale and turn it down, because I think I could use this to sort of drive sort of that brushed metal look. But I don't want this to be the only kind of noise, is this up and down noise. I want it to be mixed with kind of a broader other noise. So I'll unsolo it. And right now you'll see everything coming together. So way up close, there is some of the really stretched out noise. Actually, there's none of it. I'll enable there. And let's try sim blend mode. Let's try overlay. And let's try the weight of that really stretched out one to be about half. And so you'll see that there is a blending of the stretched out one and the wider pattern. Let's make the wider pattern even bigger and get rid of the distortion on it.
And you probably want a base layer in there too of like a gray color for them to both be fading over top of. Now, normally what I do...
It all still feels big, though. It still feels like he's the Iron Giant Mondo toy.
He needs a bump map on there too, but hang on. We'll get there. It's okay. One step at a time.
Damn it, Michael.
I'm turning down the amount that they're both going in. Okay. I added a color object, which was, again, you press C, and then you type something like color, and then you see the items you can drag into there. By default, this was gray. So now the base layer is gray. This layer 1 is right now set to normal blending mode, but maybe I'll change it to overlay. So from the noise I'm getting...
It's just leveling up detail. Now, usually what I do when I'm putting noises in to use for roughness maps is I usually like to use a gradient ramp, which is like a colorama in After Effects or gradient map in Photoshop. But what it does is it remaps the white, black to white or the 0 to 1 input to other colors. And usually I'll pick the maximum roughness I want and the minimum roughness I want just in grayscale values. And then that way I have full control over it. So I would put that at the end after the color layer, for example.
That's cool.
Or you could use the color correct node after the color layer and just lower the contrast. Like there's so many different ways you could do this.
That's clever. So a ramp is basically like a whatchamacallit.
I don't know.
What was I going to say?
DBS is asking, hey, do you guys read chat? Indeed we do.
No.
We do. Wait, Michael, is this how ramp is supposed to work? You input to it, and then it's taking...
So solo it, and then, so hit the solo on the ramp node, and then go over to the ramp and like crush the whites way up, for example. Like the the bottom, the color chip on the bottom. Just grab it and slam it, and you'll be able to see what it does.
I see.
So almost all the values are pure white now, which you don't want. But so you would change those to be, whatever your max and min grays are, and then you can also use it to say, hey, I want almost all of it to be, one level of roughness. But then
gotcha. So it's it's a remapper, like a very custom remapper. That's delightful.
Guys, we gotta take a quick break. We'll be right back. I'm Seth, and that's Hashi.
Oh, hey, how's it going, man?
Ow! God, what the... Come on. God, what? Come on. You serious right now? Ow! God, what the... Ow! Come on. Ow! God. Ow! Serious? Why? Why? Welcome back. We are turning this Iron Giant into a live Iron Giant. Where were we? Right here.
We sure are.
With Redshift materials.
So, yeah, basically this ended up being a little lesson in wandering into Redshift if you've never played with it before. And the fun thing about...
Also, just for funsies.
Yeah, just for funsies. Like, look at this cool noise pattern that we made.
Oh, yes, Jamie's here. Hi, Jamie.
Hello. All right, so yeah, as you can see, you could do just a crazy amount of things with this. I'm not happy with
another fun thing is you can use one noise like at a large scale to mask a smaller scale noise, so that noise only shows up in certain little patches. So you can have it look like little things dinged it and scratched it in different spots. Like there's so much cool stuff you can do in Redshift layering things up. And what's great about it being node based like this, and why I really love nodal materials, is you could use that masking noise that says, hey, this noise only shows up in these areas as color noise or as a part of a bump map or whatever. So if you need to adjust something, you adjust in the one spot and it feeds through the whole node tree to however many places it's being used. So you can easily tweak and adjust and fuss with stuff. Love it.
Could you make him a wooden giant?
Oh, absolutely. All I need to do is just go over to our wood materials and pick something fun.
Just a reminder, we're in the asset browser.
And there's so much good stuff in there, especially if you're a Maxon 1 subscriber. Maxon 1 subscribers get access to a whole world of things called capsules, which might include Redshift materials, could include models, could include some very cool node-based assets that are like modifiers that you can put in your object manager to procedurally affect your models and splines and whatnot. Now, Maxon, being nice, gives about half of those Maxon 1 capsules for free to Cinema 4D subscribers, but it is a Maxon 1 feature, so enjoy.
All right, I'm putting them outside now.
Wonderful. Now, I don't know if you saw in our chat, I had made a little request. I don't know if you were possible.
I did see your request in there.
You're like, and I ignored it.
But let's see. Let me quickly rotate the...
That actually, I got to tell you, the wooden giant looks pretty freaking great.
Wooden giant does look cool. There we go. I just wanted more lighting contrast on here. Or more directional lighting.
Look at that.
Hey,
That's
I know
cool.
that spot. Look at this.
We've been there. DBS is asking, have you guys covered any jewelry rendering animation stuff? This is, Maxon has on some of their other streams. This is more of a VFX. Yeah, it's a good question. This is more of a VFX stream, so I don't remember us ever covering jewelry stuff on here, but go on to the Maxon Training Team YouTube channel and the regular Maxon YouTube channel and have a search for jewelry. I'm pretty sure we've had some presentations by artists who do jewelry work at SIGGRAPH or IBC or NAB. Those would be on the Maxon YouTube channel. And if you want some actual straight-up training on it for a more organized session, that would be on the Maxon Training Team channel. And of course, if you go to maxon.net, at the very top under learning, there's Cineversity. I think there's some jewelry stuff in Cineversity as well. But so while we on this VFX and Chill show haven't done a lot of jewelry stuff, Maxon in general, I believe, has. And there's some places for you to go to look those up.
And then Nick Smith just dropped the winner of the best comment of the day for me, which is, can you make him an orange giant? And now I want to drop for the Iron Giant, where we put Aaron Rabinowitz's head on the Iron Giant. I'm absolutely going to have that next week or when we come back from Thanksgiving. I'm going to spend my entire Thanksgiving making
Yes.
an incredible...
No friends, no family.
Yes, no friends, no family, only Iron Giant.
Oh my
We
gosh.
used to have this joke with Nick Campbell and Dave. Oh, what's Dave's last name? Dave worked at Grayscale Gorilla at the time, but it was Nick Campbell and Aaron Rabinowitz, me, maybe Chris Schmidt. We were in Vegas one year at an NAB. We got Chinese food, this really nice place. And Aaron couldn't stop talking about how much he loved orange chicken. And we all thought he was saying Aaron's chicken. And so he was just going on and on about how much he loves Aaron's chicken. And that's been one of my favorite things forever is Aaron's chicken. All right.
All right.
Speaking of Chris Schmidt, TJ Knuckles pointed out that Rocket Lasso did a deep dive into gems a while back, and I believe on their Gumroad have some gem models you could download.
Killer. So
over here in the show chat, Seth was mentioning that we have these handy things that are, if you click on any object, you can say simulation tags and say pyro emitter on them. So I decided to quickly add...
Before you hit play, turn off your Redshift viewport.
Oh, good point.
Because you won't see it. Because you don't have
I haven't built
pyro
a Redshift
shader on there yet.
Yes. So if I throw a pyro emitter, for example, on the eyes object.
Yeah! That was as satisfying as I wanted it to be. I just wanted Fire and Giant.
Fire and Giant. Now, what's fun about these tags is that they're so easy to apply. So I could drag maximum VRAM used. Fine.
I love when you make an entire object a pyro emitter and it gets engulfed in flames.
It is amazing. And by the way, like this is calculating it at the scale of the tall full Iron Giant.
Oh my gosh, that's nuts.
Which is actually so finally
full giant.
It is helpful that he is at the right scale.
I think this is a great place to end our show. I hope that we have learned a ton of things this week. Is there anything else that we want to talk about before we go?
I don't think so. Keep your suggestions coming. Please reply to send us comments, send us suggestions at the Chill box and stuff. And I think that we can, we'd be happy for more live action adaptation suggestions or VFX questions in general. Questions about, who on the How to Train Your Dragon crew was cool and who were messy. And yes, ask us and we'll figure that all out.
Absolutely do. Guys, have an absolutely wonderful Thanksgiving. And I'm saying not just to the audience, but to you two guys. I love both of you and I'm very thankful for both of you. Happy Thanksgiving.
I'm thankful for you too.
Oh, we love all of you. Everyone, please remember to VFX and Hank all week. We'll see you in 2 weeks with our own pal in the comments, Jason Murphy. Goodbye.